Hello, welcome to another video on Scouring Early Access. Today's game is going to be a 4 versus 4 game with me, the Birthday Gamer, my ally Svetly97, Sparrow, and Attila. And the enemy team is going to be M1SS, My Dream Forever, Dingy Code, and IDKI. Here we pretty much spawn in the bottom half of the map. And here I spawn as the Black Orc player. And I'm just going to be doing the usual Goblin Archer build order. Over here, next to me, Scion player, Svetly97. Looks like he's going to be doing a Warrior build order. Over here, Orange Orc player, Sparrow. Looks like he's also doing a Warrior build with logging camp, so he might be adding a few archers later on. And over here, the final ally, the White Orc player, Attila. Looks like he's doing an archer build order. Over here, the first enemy, the Blue Orc player, here's M1SS. And it does look like he's doing a few warriors, and I'm probably switching to archers, similar to the orange player, I believe. Over here, the red orc player, My Dream Forever. He's doing a arch build order. I guess he's trying to get some XP from these wolves. Here, the yellow orc player, ADKI. Looks like he's doing all the warriors. And he's going at tier 2 right away. Although interesting, not really sure. What's the point of getting a tier 2 right away instead of a logging camp or a smithy? And the final enemy over here is Purple Orc, Dingy Code. He does look like he's making all the warriors. Anyways, here I just pretty much went up here to see who's next to me, so I know what kind of expectations to have, I guess. Just clearing this troll. And just doing the usual worker production. And here the yellow player, I guess, trying to run into the Scion player's base here. This little path. It's a great way to go around this dark tower here. And it does look like the purple player is also going to be following him and trying to, I guess, harass the Scion player. I guess everyone else is just clearing some neutrals. That's what you want to do at the beginning of the game. You don't want to just sit in your main base. Here the enemies finally arrive. And there's no more units here. More military units. And so the Scion player is going to be losing a few workers. Here I saw this right away, so I tried to send some help. Some archers. And I was thinking make a second base. Over here the yellow player decides that that's enough harassing for him, so he decides to run away. And purple player decides to scout the rest of this lower part of the map. I pretty much try to follow him, and I guess stop him from killing workers in this base, because in the meantime the orange player is on top here, so he's going to be able to defend his base very well. Here I'm the first player to get a second base. So I wasn't really thinking of being rushed here, because they kind of rushed the Scion player instead. But if you're in the front line, then it is sometimes a good idea to make a smithy or a forge, so you can get a few cannons, which can help you survive I guess, an outnumbered situation, where there's 2 or 3 players to try to target you. Yeah, I tried to tell orange player to go and kill the purple units here. They're trying to run away. Here, orange player decides to lose his units. But now I come here to try and help. But of course, the red player is here as well. And so we're going to be losing here eventually. But I did want to at least kill a few warriors before running away. And here it looks pretty terrible. The two enemies here could have just ran in here and went on the underside of this base here and pretty much just killed all these workers for free. But I guess they decided to hang around here instead. Yes, my white ally is farming some skeletons. Just turned on for village mode. I just have my archers here, so they could just be, I guess, useful in defending. But I kind of didn't really touch them. I just left them here. I guess orange got some archers here. But red then decides to run back home, I guess. And here I guess decided to kill these wolves because they're kind of munching on my workers here. I think they munched away one worker. And over here the sign player is having some issues, I guess. These skeletons annoying him a little bit. So I tried to send some help. Though he had some worries here. Probably forgot we were sitting here. Oh, and of course here I made a forge to get a few cannons. In case the enemy wants to attack my base. Here I went up north here instead. Because I did see another village on the minimap. Looks like over here the yellow player and the red player decided to run into this base to try and kill the white player, I guess. Yeah, pretty much we kind of couldn't do much. My army was very far away. And the purple was kind of annoying the sign player, so we were kind of stuck here. And so eventually the white player's base is going to be overrun. But I guess the yellow did lose a few munchers. But now a horde of orcs has come. The sign player is trying to kill some goblins. But purple's here is also here to annoy him. But somehow looks like the enemies are kind of taking some losses here. Kind of lost most of their archers here. But they will do better. But I guess it's also interesting that even if you're kind of hopeless, you can still do a lot of damage to the attacking players. I guess here I could have just sniped a few munchers, but I was kind of busy over here trying to annoy the enemy players. And here I couldn't really tank into this base because there was little workers, the bow ability, so I decided to run back. And then purple decided to, I guess, give me around 10 or 12 archers for free. Or I guess I did lose 4 archers or 5. But he lost more, so it was a better trade for him. I mean, for me. So now I'm going to be annoying the black player, I mean the red player. And just because I killed the purple soul army, he can't really help his ally. And so I'm going to be harassing my enemy now. And of course on top of that I have artillery, which two-shots workers very reliably, so I knew the white player was gonna dead, so might as well do some damage to the enemies on my side of the map. There you go, that's like a whole lot of workers. But my enemy has a second base, so it's not that big a deal for him, I guess, but it's still gonna slow him down a little bit. Here I decided to go back home with my cannons, but of course the purple player decides to, I guess, attack me. Oh, here I guess his cannon didn't shoot because his archer was a little too close. Here yellow player finally comes to the aid of his ally. Pretty much kills all of my archers. And now the silent player decides to feed all these warriors to the enemy here, instead of going up here. Which I guess he could have done. Would have been a bit more effective to annoy the purple player, instead of losing his warriors over here. But I guess you never know until you get into a situation like this. I guess on the other side of the map, the blue player finally decides to finish off the white player. I guess a few of my veteran archers are fighting to the last here. And now the white player is officially dead, and now it's a 4v3 type of game. And over here the enemies decide to attack, I guess. Even the red and purple is here. Here the cyan kind of loses all of its warriors. So basically the best he can do is just use his workers. And of course here the yellow player decides to destroy my economy, a lot of my workers. But I do eventually get to somewhat take down these units, which are very high level. So if the enemy loses these monsters, then it's going to be very difficult to get this powerful army again. But I guess he does get to run away with a few stragglers here. So he did his damage, annoyed me a little bit, but I do somewhat get back on track relatively quickly. Here orange decides to help out the cyan player, but the cyan player does lose a muncher cave, so that's a little annoying. And the purple player is still being annoying with his artillery cannons, I guess. So eventually I do decide to come and take care of these small forces. But in the meantime, of course, the blue player runs in here while the orange player was busy helping cyan. So he does take down this base. But as we can see here, you're able to run around with your munchers. I'm gonna take very few losses. Oh, especially because of orange player got the rage ability, so now there's pretty much no more units left for the blue player. Most of his army got, I guess, ran down. Here I decide to take my cannons so I can bombard enemies' cannons here. I want to guess some time wouldn't pass. The side player did get to capture the Dark Tower. Probably because he's at auto. Shoot at warriors. Here I bombarded the enemy. I guess I decided to just run in here. But I couldn't really see, so I am going to take these cannon shots in the face. And I also get the rage ability, research. It's going to allow me to mow down this group of archers. And here I guess the yellow and red players were a little too late to help out purple. But after I see all these munchers, I do decide to retreat. There's no point to losing all my munchers for nothing. Or until I can get some reinforcements. Or I can defend here with some cannon support. Here you can pretty much see that I have two bases. Cyan has only one base. Orange has two bases. Blue has two bases. Yellow has a second base. So does red. And purple is the only player on the enemy team with no base. And I guess over here the enemy is trying to take the middle tower, but I kind of saw these archers here, so I decided to run them down. And here Yellow decides he doesn't want to lose his munchers because he doesn't have the rage ability. And without rage, you're going to be losing very easily and effectively. But I think he didn't know that I had no more mana, so I couldn't really fight him at that exact moment. I guess over here I was trying to get a few cannons to try and potentially do an attack against enemies. Over here, Orange has a huge army of munchers. And so the enemies decide to fight him here. But I guess he had the rage turned on. So I was able to destroy all of this enemy army. Or pretty much this whole army over here. Yes, he decides to run home. Probably because he knows Yellow is over here. He could definitely reinforce and help his allies here. But of course, in the meantime, I was trying to attack here. And a purple player doesn't really have much of an army or anything here, so I easily clean this up. And I guess the enemies are busy fighting Orange here. They're very far away from the purple player's base, so I guess they decide to attack the Orange player's base. Because they're not gonna make it here on time to help purple, so I'm gonna have a very easy time going into this base, you could say. But I guess over here, Red decides to fight by himself here. And he's going to be doing some damage here, but I think if the yellow player was there, he could have even killed orange, but I guess he decides to run all the way back to the purple player's base. But by the time he gets here, it's going to be destroyed, so it's going to be a little too late. Here I realize the yellow has rage, so he has a fair chance to kill my whole army. But of course here red also comes to assist. But I guess he kinda fumbled here instead of helping his ally. He was kinda running around here, which allowed me to destroy most of the yellow player's army. Here there's nothing more left to catch, so I just decide to run home. To, I guess, regroup with my other munchers. And here I pretty much should have just bought out the potions before attacking, but I decided to trade armies, I guess you could say. And I guess killing these cannons is going to be pretty nice as well. But I do eventually lose this fight. But the enemies did have to lose most of their army, so in my view it was somewhat acceptable. Because I did get a lot of gold by killing their army. And I could easily produce another one in a short time. Because I had 4 barracks. And it's red. And 3. Yellow had only 2 barracks, so they're gonna be remaking their armies a little slower. And of course I was kind of running out of gold. There's nowhere else to expand. So I decided to expand in a forward position. Over here, orange is being annoying to the blue player. Not letting him expand, it's just keeping him here, I guess. All over here, it's gonna be great for him. It's gonna kill a good amount of these workers. Or I guess he could have, but he decides to just break this base instead. And here you can see the enemy players ran out of gold. Or the red player did. Leo has this base, it's almost running out. But he has this fresh one. And blue has only one base here. Here the red player has a big army of munchers. But I guess he's just trying to bait me into this position. And here I decide to make a few barricades to just slow him down a little bit. Now in the meantime I would be going in the north here to break some buildings. Because I think I did get pillage, which allows you to get gold by breaking buildings. That's the most fastest way to get extra gold by breaking buildings. Or here yellow, I guess, decides to annoy the orange player a little bit. Or just waste his mana. Which is why you want to turn on your launchers to not auto-cast Rage. And then when you know you're gonna be actually fighting, you can turn it on. Because now the yellow player is gonna have Rage and the orange player pretty much ran out of mana. But I guess orange didn't have enough mana to use at this moment. But of course, there's just too many enemy munchers here, so he does eventually lose here. So here I think I just destroyed this building. Then I punched these two buildings to get some extra gold. Now I finally decide to do a actual attack here. A few warlocks and a few cannons. And here I decide to make a barracks, so I guess give me a rooftop for my workers. So here I begin just destroying all of these buildings here. But red, I guess, kind of didn't notice. While in the meantime, the yellow player is kind of destroying the orange player here. And I guess orange doesn't have any more bases, so eventually he is going to be losing here if nothing is done. But of course, I'm very close to the yellow player's main base, so it's going to have to run back sometime soon. And here red decides to commit his army, and I decide to run back to try and save this base, because this is the last mining base of mine. But of course, the red player doesn't have any potions, and pretty much most of my munchers do, so I lose very few units, which allows me to do a direct attack against his base right away. I guess blue decides to attack here. But I think he all thinks that orange is already dead, which is probably true, because he has no more gold. So he decides to secure the next gold mine for himself. But I guess maybe he was slow to react. And only now he decides to maybe run over here. I do manage to kill a good amount of these warlocks, which are very expensive. They're like 500 gold. So it's going to be very hard to remake them. One, I guess, over here is a little misclick, you could say. Clicked up here to move his munchers, but half his munchers were over here. Or maybe he just decided to do auto raid, but he didn't know I had auto munchers here. Here I just punch this building to get some gold, so I can invest that gold into more munchers. And here yellow decides to commit to this attack. But I do get to put a poison on his units, which then makes him run away, but somehow managed to walk him in here. And so he loses his army in a very ineffective manner. Yeah, pretty much here. Red can't really do much. So we're going to be munching away his base very shortly. I guess orange here is trying to, I guess, annoy the enemies. Blue player, I guess, is trying to kill orange player. But he has no cannons, so he can't really do much. Up here, the sign player finally made another base. Let's make out the munchers, but I guess did eventually forget to get the rage ability for his munchers. Here, I guess I pretty much see that there's not much left for red to do here, so I decide to attack into the base of a yellow player. And up here, I guess, the final armies of enemies decide to do their final stand here. And so now they pretty much have no more armies left. And here we pretty much are finishing up the final few units of the yellow player. So now his base is just open for attack. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for this match. See the results. I guess we can see here, I kind of mined very similar amount to the enemies. But I didn't get to make more units because I killed way more enemies, which gave me extra gold that I could have used to make more units, but also by breaking out of buildings. I guess that way somehow managed to farm all the skeletons from the witches. Just very annoying, I guess, way to do it. To kill the skeletons, but not try and focus down the witch himself. Anyways, that's the end of the video. If you liked the video, you can leave a like, leave a comment. If you want to see more videos in the Scouring Early Access, then you can subscribe. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.